has come to band together. The tide is rising in your heart. We have no time to lose. We've everything to prove. So call all of the banners and wave the flags. The world is burning, an ocean of mercy is what we must have to swim in his waters. Our heavenly Father, this time I'm sure we'll flood the world. It makes no difference who you are, where you're from. The story has been told before. Mahaprabhu gave to you this most precious gift, so don't waste it all. So call all of the banners and wave the flags. The world is burning, an ocean of mercy is what we must have to swim in his waters. Our heavenly Father, this time I'm sure we'll flood the world.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Vancha kalpataruscha kripasindabe vacha patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavam namaha. First off, on behalf of our whole team, our respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, whose mission it was to deliver the Western worlds by preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And just to set the tone for today, as we will go into some reports from America, North America, Europe, and India, we're focusing on the word capacity. There are intermittent goals that we have in order to increase capacity. We set goals for what it makes of us to achieve them. As in achieving the goals, we build our we build our infrastructure, our skill sets, and we involve more and more people. We know how to do inventory control and so forth. And especially we develop our spiritual acumen by the process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and distributing it. And this is a short excerpt from Prabhupada's purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 285, which many of you probably know, Pravishta Randrena. And Prabhupada writes, by sincere efforts to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, one realizes his constitutional relationship with the Lord in the transcendental humor of servitude, friendship, paternal affection, or conjugal love. And by such self-realization, one becomes situated at once in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Not only were all the pure devotees like Narada self-realized souls, but they were engaged in preaching work automatically by spiritual impetus. And thus they delivered many poor souls entangled in the material modes. They became so powerful because they sincerely followed the Bhagavatam principles by regular hearing and worshiping. By such actions, the accumulated material lusts, etc., become cleansed by the personal endeavor of the Lord within the heart. The Lord is always within the heart of the living being, and he becomes manifested by one's devotional service, specifically hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and distributing it to others. And Prabhupada says here, this preaching work was done by Narada and other fully liberated souls automatically because of their spiritual impetus, which comes from hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And also one other excerpt from Prabhupada's specific statements about book distribution. And in a room conversation, he said, this book distribution is the most important task in our society. Therefore, I'm giving so much stress and I am working so hard on this because this is my life and soul according to the order of my Guru Maharaj. And by his grace, it is to some extent successful. And I took it seriously. I take it seriously still now. That is my life and soul. I never tried in India to construct big temples, or even in your country, we didn't. I never tried, but I was selling personally books. That is the history. Sometimes they are criticizing, what kind of sannyasi? He is doing book business. So we're also doing book business, but it's the kind of busyness that gets one entangled in the spiritual world and not in mundane affairs. So today we have a little time to share some of our reports from various parts of the world. And to start off, I'd like to see if Ambarishi Maharaj is here from Russia.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, Maharaj. My obeisances all goes to Srila Prabhupada.
My obeisance is also. So devotees in Russia, they are a little late with starting the website, but it's already launched 1 week ago, and devotees started to join the Bhadra campaign, taking vows, and because they started late, so they want to continue September and October also. They want to distribute at least 500 sets. That is goal. In every program we are holding in different cities. We are offering the Bhagavatam sets. Like for the last 24 hours, I had programs in 3 cities in southern Russia, and at least one set was going at every program. And some devotees are taking vows that they will take later one set. So campaign is going on. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, if I may ask, what is it that drives you? What is it that's motivating you? It's a lot of hard work traveling and then going giving programs. And I'm going back to the purport I just read that there's a spiritual impetus to do this. Can you describe what yours is, what your realization is about Bhagavatam and why you're taking your life's energy to promote it? Because you've done it consistently for so many, many years, and you're helping to lead that effort in Russia. What is it that's keeping you going?
Because Bhagavatam is so inspiring. We are reading Bhagavatam every day, and it gives so much inspiration. And also we meet people whose life has become completely changed by reading one of Srila Prabhupada's books. For some years, we were distributing Bhagavatams on the street. It was very ecstatic. We were distributing first and second canto, and people were very inspired to take these books just on the street. And after that time, we were distributing door to door, like first, second, and third canto, small set. And on some days, we were distributing like 40, 50 sets door to door, and people were so inspired. They were reading the books. And we met one family. The grandmother took some Bhagavatam volume like 5 years before this happened, this meeting, and she passed away. And they have been born a small child, and immediately when the child started to crawl, he took the Bhagavatam and started to watch the pictures. So it's very inspiring when you meet so many people that are reading the books and they are so inspired. So it gives a lot of inspiration.
It reminded me when you said that Prabhupada had mentioned that when the book goes in someone's hand or they look at one sentence or even one word, he said they can become spiritually awakened. What to speak of if a whole set of Bhagavatams goes in the house, because it's physically present there. And then the pictures are there. The book's a reminder that there's a world calling to them outside their small world of hard work in the material world. And I love the story of the kid pulling down the book and looking at the pictures. Thank you so much, Marjan. Yes, please go ahead.
Many young people that are joining now, they are saying that from very childhood they saw these books on the shelf, bookshelf of their parents. They were looking at the pictures. So from very beginning of their life, they were introduced to Srila Prabhupada's books, and now they became devotees.
Amazing. You're saying how you used to, devotees go on the street, do the first 2 cantos, and what are some of the devotees doing now? How will they reach the 500 goal? What are the likely ways that they will be distributing full sets of Bhagavatams there in Russia?
So first of all, they were working on this website, bhagavatam.pro, and now it's launched, this website. And everyone who enters this website, he has a choice to buy the set or to take a vow that he will distribute set. And also there are contacts of the persons from whom they can get the Bhagavatam set in their own city. So Many devotees are becoming inspired by joining this program through website, and also in every temple we travel to, we are making presentation of the website and this Bhadra campaign. So many devotees becoming inspired.
Thank you so much, Marj, for sharing the ways that you've been thinking about the Bhagavatam and how the devotees there are distributing. Just hearing from you and being in that part of the world and feeling the commonality that there's a feeling for the Bhagavatam we all have, and that wherever we go in the world, people need it. We're all hankering for the sound vibration that will transform us and bring us beyond the mundane world. Well, all glories to the Russian Yatra, the Russian team. We pray that you may smash your goal over there. And thank you very much for being a world leader in the Sankirtan movement. Hare Krishna. His Holiness Ambrishi Maharaj Ki Jai. And now we're going to swing across the ocean from the top of Russia into Canada and hear from Anuttama Prabhu, the intrepid, who goes from center to center, actually visits every center in Canada practically to personally talk to the leaders there. Thank you for your tireless service. How's it going?
Going really well. I've visited a few centers, across the country and taking flights and all that. And one center, I remember I got there and I was hoping to promote Bhagavatam, and the Sankirtan leaders were so organized. They already distributed, 14 sets in one day. So I was like, wow, that's great. I'm also trying to promote the Gram Vidya Dan, because primarily it's done in Toronto for the past few years, but that pipeline needs to be explored more. So Vancouver just tried it, and they on their first day of launching Gram Vidya, they did 12 sets. So that's quite impressive. And we have a record 15 temples participating in Bhadra this year. So it's up from 2 from last year. And 4 of them have already met their goals. They've exceeded their goals. Another impetus is also Canada is a place where His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was GBC, and he would visit here quite often every year. So a lot of his disciples are taking it up and trying to go the extra mile to hold up Maharaj's wonderful legacy of book distribution. So we see all these successes taking place, and of course having the announcements at the Sunday programs, as well as making friendships with people and keeping in contact with people over time has built that connection with ISKCON, as well as getting them to sponsor a set or come and take a set. And we see a lot of success in that in Toronto as well. And people of other backgrounds, like there was a gentleman from a Sikh background with a turban taking a Bhagavatam set. So we are making it for really everyone to come and get involved in Srimad Bhagavatam. And we also had, speaking of Russian, we have a good Russian population or people who speak Ukrainian. So we have Bhagavatam set installation ceremonies in the Russian language, which I've never seen. Usually it's in the Indian languages or English, but we had a Russian installation ceremony. So everything's going well, mainly because of the energy around the Bhadra and also the BBT MCI team. Hare Krishna.
That was quite amazing that you've increased capacity. I think you said from 2 participants to 15.
Well, it was an extra 2 from last year. We had 13 last year. We are doing 15.
13 to 15. This is one of the metrics we want to start measuring in all areas, is how many centers, communities, Bhakti Vrikshas, or whatever category of gathering it is, are participating, because every little center can then have a purpose behind their gathering, which is beyond just getting together, which is valuable in of itself to hear and chant, but then they also have that sense of going out together or going in and sharing the Bhagavatam with their family members and everyone else. And I could see by your diligence, your networking. It's one of the noticeable ways that you've helped to expand capacity there in Canada is that you take time to personally meet with the devotees in all of the centers and check in with them and do due diligence. I just curious uh, what's driving you for this? It's a service that requires so much endeavor and travel and talking to devotees, getting in touch. And what's there in your heart that's making you go?
Good question. I mean, I'm not a big fan of traveling myself, especially taking flights. But I think about when I go on a work trip, work is mundane, but when I engage in bhakti service, it's very ecstatic and blissful. So it makes my long travel journeys worth it. And when I'm there to serve the devotees or go out and Sankirtan service, it's just the happiness one can gain from doing Sankirtan service is nothing like anything in the whole world. So that's why it keeps me going. And also, the reason why I am in Krishna consciousness was because I found a random Bhagavatam Canto 1 in a used bookstore in a town that didn't have, devotees or a center. So the Bhagavatam is always like very dear to me, and it's like my favorite scripture. And I really value that, and that keeps me going because Sankirtan service is just so fun and it's so dynamic, and it's very much part of the mission. It's this core of the mission. So why deviate from it?
Prabhu, what is it you tell devotees when you call on them? You have an official position in Canada. Canada's so organized. They're very cooperative in their management system, and they've appointed you to go around and make sure that everyone's doing the best they can up to their capacity. Like on a typical call, what do you say to the leaders when you call them up?
The first thing is, how are you doing? I think that's so important because we are such a personal movement. And I know there was an instance last year where during the Bhadra campaign, one of our Sankirtan leaders was moving from one place to another. And I mentioned that, okay, you take your time to move. I know your heart is in Sankirtan. I know you won't be as active in a month, but then as soon as he moved, he came back and their temple smashed their Bhadra goal. So just have that human element of understanding that, especially when in the case of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, when he had departed, I had great sympathy and I expressed that because I'm close to a lot of his disciples. And they, appreciated that I wasn't pushing them for goals and all that right away because I know it's sensitive. So having that human element is really important and also working with them. Each center or each temple, ideally, we would like to have them operate in, all sorts of capacity for book distribution, but just working with the volunteers they have, the temple dynamics, understanding that, because when looking at the numbers, we may say, well, why isn't that temple doing more because they have more population? It's to go and understand and work with them and help build capacity and also build certain alliances. People are very favorable for book distribution and just fanning the spark, as you would say. So we have a goal of 592 Bhagavatam sets. So we're hoping to exceed that this year by the grace of all the Vaishnavas and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also looking forward for 2025, 2026, we also want to increase our capacity a lot. So I'm hoping to present book distribution at our Canadian conference in November, especially about Gram Vidyadan and getting more temples to participate, as well as at the North American RGB meeting, because the more people know, the easier it is to facilitate the whole book distribution energy.
So, building alliances with devotees, helping them to develop their capacity and making friendships with them so that in the future, whenever they start thinking about it, they know you're there to help them. And your approach, your comprehensive approach, and the way that you just become a friend and a support to the people, it's really working in Canada. Thank you very much for your example, Anutama Prabhu. Well done.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so
May
much.
you smash your goals. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And now we're going to swing back over the ocean and then down a little bit in Europe, and coming to the inimitable Trey Das Prabhu, who's overseeing Italy and many other places in Europe, and who's the most venerable of those who have joined us today. He started book distribution in Monica. He started book distribution in the late 60s or early 70s. Uh-oh, you're on mute.
Early 70, 71.
Early 70s in the world famous San Francisco Temple. And since then, he's been an example and a participant in book distribution in America, Europe, all over the world. Trey Prabhu, how's it going over there? What's it looking like?
It's different countries. Europe's a complicated place because it has many, many countries. Actually, we have 32 countries reporting, or at least registered. Some report sometimes, most they report most of the time, but it's 32 countries, each with a different reality, with a different situation. And I very much appreciated the devotee Anutama's realization of the importance of personal contact and personal relation, understanding what each devotee's and yatra's situation is and being empathetic towards it. But as far as practical movement for the Bhadra campaign, I guess the most highlights were actually in London. London this month did smashing every possible goal that could be imagined. They did 89 Srimad Bhagavatam sets this month of August. So I'm sure they'll make their goal. But in Europe, it's a little slow. And but France, under the guidance of Janananda Maharaj, is doing very well. They took advantage of the Olympics, which took place in Paris. So the Paris temple, some devotees came over from America. The Atlanta Sankirtan group, they came from America to distribute books at the Olympics in Paris, and they taught and inspired the local Parisian devotees, and they were able to do 20 sets this month, which is way above their usual. And the other temples that I have the most relations with are Radhadesh and Amsterdam. All of them are called Benelux, and they also did nicely. They're doing nicely because they have their set. Also, France is very inspired because they have their set. Other countries are a little less, I have to admit. But one interesting thing is that one country, Sweden, which practically we weren't hearing from for quite a while, they started out again distributing. In the two temples there, they each did 2 sets. I'm talking about this month because I have all of the results from this month. We just sent our European Sankirtan newsletter out, and those are the countries that are distributing the sets. France, Italy, some, not as much as last year, but we hope to catch up. We had a little particular thing in Italy. We just got our Chaitanya Charitamrita set after many, many years of being out of print. It just arrived, so we have many orders. We'll be way ahead for the Be a Gardener campaign, that's for sure, because we just got our set. Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to catch up. We'll try our best to catch up. And also the other countries, I think France is on a very strong wave with Janananda Maharaj. England, of course, is on another level. I don't know Divyanam, I don't see him present here today.
He's here. We'll take him just after you're finished.
Okay. Well, that's about it for Europe for the moment.
Thanks, Trey Prabhu. Just curious about your impetus. You're going on 56 years dedicated to book distribution. What's in your heart? What's driving you?
Well, of course, all of the reciprocation we got from Srila, and the impetus from Srila Prabhupada that we all got in those days. Letters I have from Srila Prabhupada encouraging book distribution as the most important service. So that's remained with me all these years, that first input from Srila Prabhupada directly about the importance of book distribution and how much he was pleased with it and how much he was pleased to hear our results of book distribution. So what else? Our impetus for a disciple is to please the spiritual master, and it's been clearly put in our head as Prabhupada's disciples that there's nothing that pleases him more aside from becoming Krishna conscious, chanting Hare Krishna, is distributing his transcendental literature, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. I remember the time when I think maybe you were there, or some of the devotees from San Francisco met Srila Prabhupada in Los Angeles. They were traveling and distributing, mostly distributing magazines, small books. And the first thing Prabhupada asked, that's very nice, but what about the big books? What about the big books? So we understood that Srila Prabhupada was very pleased by the distribution. His most important service in life was giving us Srimad Bhagavatam. So there can't be anything more important to him, more pleasing to him than and distributing Srimad Bhagavatam. In those days, it was unimaginable. The whole set of Srimad Bhagavatam was practically unimaginable. But the fact now, I'm sure Prabhupada is wherever he is, and of course he's present with us. He's extremely pleased by the fact that you're expanding and pushing in the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's like I said, which was unimaginable in those days. But now it's become a reality thanks to your campaign and pushing. We hope to increase it more. I mean, that's my impetus for going on, is the pleasure that Srila Prabhupada gets from our service of distributing his books. And of course, reading the books. Reading the books, you want to share that knowledge with other people.
Jai, Chadas Prabhu ki Jai.
Jai.
Just a thought, and you mentioned a couple of the places are catching up. And we found last night with our meeting Oceania, that there's a lot of momentum in the last couple days. The day of Bhadra itself is huge. And the couple days before Bhadra, we found, even during the pandemic time in 2020, those were the biggest spike. Actually, the more books are distributed in the last 3 days typically than in the 40 days before that. So it's a really good time to mention to all the places that these are the days that really count. And it's a time when everyone knows the day is coming. So there's a bumper sticker I saw once that said, if it wasn't for the last minute, I wouldn't get anything done. So we can remind the devotees of that. Thanks, Trey Prabhu, for your example of amazing leadership. And now we're going to swing, just still in Europe, but we're swinging over Divyanam Prabhu, who's in Sankirtan Central, his Sankirtan Central office there near London, where many of the plans are made, how to reach out and organize the Sankirtan. How's it going over there, Divyanam Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. My obeisances to everybody on the call. Maharaj, things are, as you said, they are really picking up a momentum here as we get very close to Bhadra Purnima. Over the last 2-3 days have been very, very high on energy for everybody in the community. We are, especially after the visit of Amrendra Prabhu, he went around pretty much every part of the UK apart from Wales. He went and did programs, gave Harikatha from Srimad Bhagavatam, and very strongly advocated the distribution of the Bhagavatam. And as a result of his trip, just across the UK, we distributed around 140 Srimad Bhagavatam sets over the 5 days actually, when he was traveling from one town to the other. So which was really good, of which 85 were distributed at the manor. Things were a little bit challenging for us. They are still this year, because we are not doing the Gram Vidya Dan, the village, for this year as one of the deliberate strategies set by leaders at the manor to try and really focus on the UK BBD, because we had a lot of Bhagavatams in stock. So as a result of that, our numbers aren't really stacking up at the manor, but we are doing, I would say we have done really well compared to last year in terms of our UK sets actually. We have already gone over our 20% from last year in terms of the UK sets, but the overall goal is still far. Soho has done well. They've just met their goal yesterday. So they've just smashed their goal and they're looking to do even big in the next few days. I was speaking to Matteo Prabhu yesterday evening. So they're doing really, really good. Wales is I understand is on target to meet their goal. But on positive note, some of the other temples like Manchester, Reading, who are not on the map, are now on the map because of Amrin Prabhu traveling and doing the programs and distributing 25 sets here, 20 there. So we're getting a lot more cooperation from other side, hoping to recover the loss which Manor may suffer this year. But overall, it's been a really good. Well, the whole campaign has been really, really nice. Over the last 2 weekends, what we have done as part of our Sunday feast at the Manor, we in the Haveli, we have an exhibition on Srimad Bhagavatam. So people come for Sunday feast. The kids are doing the drama on the Bhagavatam, and then we invite them for the exhibition. And just now, I'm coming from one of the exhibitions, and we distributed 16 sets of Bhagavatam, and we have one this evening. We do 2 Sunday feast program at the Manor. So just going back after half an hour to participate in the second one. Naveen Anirudh Prabhu is giving that Sunday feast class. He gave a beautiful class this morning at Bhaktivedanta Manor, and we distributed a few sets after that. He was really advocating and encouraging the devotees that how amazing this service is and how everybody should get involved. He's been here for a few days. He'll be heading to Soho tomorrow. So yeah, I think overall, Maharaj, it's very positive. I would say Manor is we are hoping we'll get closer to 400, Maharaj, in terms of our number of sets of Bhagavatam. But not quite far in terms of our goal, which was around 800.
No, you can do it. Last few days, it's possible. Tell the devotees at the Manor that you're saving the villages of the UK.
Yes, Maharaj.
And that each set is going to go save a village. Thank you, Divyanam Prabhu, for your report. It's given us inspiration, and may you smash the 800 mark. We're praying to Lord Chaitanya that he intervene and that there's a major wave in the last couple days. Thank you. Hare Krishna. And now we call on the inimitable Nandini Kishori, who never sleeps. People have checked in on her. Her lights are always on. Phone is always going from here to there. So many services. Her main interest is in contacting everyone to make sure that they are involved. Nandini Kishori, how's it going? What's it looking like out there?
So I want to start at the beginning. When we sent out the goals sheet, instantly in few minutes, at least 10 centers had filled out their goals. And these are mega goals. And I could feel this Bhadra fever is going on. And I feel so lucky, unqualified, but extremely lucky to connect with maybe 200 Sankirtan leaders now, because current leader, co-leader, ex-leader, leader in training, and I really feel they never stop being Sankirtan person at the heart. And so I'm really feel lucky that I have this service. Swasa Prabhu has doubled his goal to 400 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. And that was mind-blowing. And he also immediately replied that his goal is 400, lofty goal. Brigupati Prabhu is still doing amazing on campuses and everything. Govinda Mohini Mataji from Naperville surprised us with 500 set goals. And they're so confident. They're going to Ganesh Gufa, some of the devotees, and Badrinath, and where Bhagavatam is spoken, and distributing sets, taking personal interest in Gram Vidyadan. Small centers inspired by the last call, like Jackson, Tennessee, led by Nagar Chandra Prabhu, went double their goal. Charlotte, I think, tripled their goal after last call. Such a great inspiration from you, Vaisesika Prabhu and others. Seattle went to 145 sets, and that was Sevananda Prabhu from Charlotte. Then Govinda Ranch, Krishna, and Brent Prabhus from Utah centers, they are trying to do their maximum. They are 2 full-time pujaris, full-time book distributors, and they are really fired up. Miami, Greater Miami area, Syracuse centers, they are doing their best. And it's amazing how a brand new center is so confident that they can meet their goal and they can smash their goal. Gaur Gambhir Prabhu from New Vrindavan, a new Sankirtan leader, I want to thank. Divyanam Prabhu from Richmond, Virginia. I give him the goal. If he doesn't respond within few minutes, I say, let's increase your goal by 25% this year. And he goes, okay, whatever you say. Same thing from Aditya Narayan Prabhu from North Carolina. Within few minutes, they respond and they just, they just like, whatever you say, we'll do it. They have so much faith in this process that if we, Lord Chaitanya will help us fulfill the goal. Tampa, I mean, this is amazing. Tampa went from 15 sets to 50 sets from last call. That's Ramai Pran Prabhu, Subal Gopal Prabhu, and Baldev Seva Prabhu. 3 people are leading that team. Raga Sindhu Prabhu is a new lead at Connecticut. They have a great goal. Gopal Radhe Prabhu from New Orleans. We have to connect, but I see them distributing a lot of Srimad Bhagavatam sets. Special thanks to Sunita and Rasika Madhav Prabhu from Orlando. They not only do a lot of book distribution, they try to help each and every book distributor they come in touch with. And great example. Shubha Vilas Govind Prabhu, he keeps on traveling so much and helping centers. Same with Devyananda Prabhu from Alachua. And this Bhadra fever is on. And if there is more time, I can speak forever, but I understand there are time constraints, and it's just amazing to witness this process. That's the report from me, Prabhu. And I'm sure there are many centers I could have talked about, but this is what I'm prepared for.
The litany was very helpful because it indicates the service, which is being in touch with lots of leaders and encouraging them and helping them to set goals. Amazing service you're doing, Nandini Kishori. Thank you very much. And now we're going to swing over to ISV, and we have Malini Devi Dasi, who has been a co-Sankirtan leader along with Sri Krishna Purushottam for many years. And I'd like to hear what's going on. She keeps the highest goal in North America by far of any other center. So let's hear how you're doing it and any realizations that you have, Malini. You're at the temple. Okay,
Hare
go
Krishna,
ahead.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances on Gosh Prabhupada. We are having a wonderful marathon here at ISV, and we are still inching towards our goal, towards the last leg. One thing I would like to say, the things that are really working are the book tables and all the farmers markets, Indian stores, and every place. And what we see that works really well are the Sunday tables at the festival as well as at the temple. So wanted to share one story from a recent Janmashtami. On Janmashtami day alone, we had a wonderful book table at the temple, and we distributed almost 25 Bhagavatam sets and or more, and then probably we collected $25,000 in just one day of Janmashtami. The visitors who came, one of the person who came to the temple that day got a Bhagavatam set. He took the Bhagavatam set, he went back home, and he showed up for the Mangalarti the next day. And he has been coming consistently for the Mangalarti on the weekends. And to my surprise, last Friday we had a Harinam Sankirtan at Palo Alto, and he showed up there and he was dancing in the Kirtan. So it's so inspiring to see that. And on the streets also, people are loving it. There is one Spanish person who just happened to come to downtown Mountain View, and one of our devotees, Madhav Govinda Prabhu, met him. And his name is Ruben. And he came to the table and he said, I want to know what these books are. And then he started taking the books. We showed him Bhagavad Gita. Then he said, okay, how much do I give you? Then he showed him Bhagavatam. He said, okay, I will take it. How much do I pay? And he took it. Not only that, he stayed at the table, and some other Spanish people came to the table and he said, don't worry, I'll take care of them. And he started explaining about Srimad Bhagavatam to those people as well. So we are seeing wonderful results from every walk of our different venues. that we have here. And the other thing that is working really well is the fundraiser. We have, thanks to BBT marketing and communications team for producing those wonderful videos, the musical videos, the Gram Vidyadan videos. We showed the Gram Vidyadan video at the temple last one of the Sundays, and we were not sure what's going on, but a brand new couple, Indian couple, who came to the temple for the first time, not knowing what it was, they just sponsored 3 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam and paid $750 in their first visit. And after that also, they were like so happy to donate. And I asked them, so do you have a set for yourself? And then she said that, I don't have it. So I said, why don't you take the one of the sponsored set? And they said, no, we will come back again. This is an opportunity for us to donate again for the set. So it's working really well. And we had some donors who just poured their heart out. And just on Radhashtami, by the mercy of Srimati Radharani, we distributed 221 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. We got sponsorships for that. And the Sunday before, we got 400 sponsorships. I think we still want to go ahead because we still are inching towards our goal. So we're going to do more videos that we will show. And we're hoping that we will try to meet our goals. Okay, brother.
Thank you so much, Malini.
That's all for me.
Facts tell, but stories sell. It's just a miracle, one after another miracles when we present Srimad Bhagavatam. As the souls are out there, we heard from the Bhagavad Gita that recently in the 13th chapter that there are those who are just waiting to hear from an authority. And when they hear from the authority of devotees who say, read Srimad Bhagavatam, take Srimad Bhagavatam, they just take it. And then they're on their path back to Godhead. It's the great miracle of the Sankirtan movement. Thank you for setting the pace practically for the whole world. We deeply appreciate it. SKP, would you like to say something? Please add.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavats Pranamah Bhusht Prabhupada. I just to add to what Malini Mataji said is that we also have a good new venue for the Bhagavatam set, new country. We added this year for Pakistan. So after announced in the last Sunday feast and also Radhashtami, we got so many sets. Even the Karachi temple and few ISKCON temples in Pakistan, the Hindu minorities, they don't have Bhagavatam sets. And with this new venue, we can distribute more Bhagavatam sets. That's as Prabhupada mentioned, if we distribute in Muslim countries, Prabhupada, that I'll take their dust and put on my head. So it's a great thing. The devotees can, we'll open up for all other temples. We are working on that form, Prabhu. So, and for Janmashtami book table, I was there. There are, I think, 12 students in one class came to, or one, they live in the same apartment because they are students. And they are struggling to, they are very much interested, especially one lady, she's a young student, and she said that, oh, I am really interested, but we don't have money to pay. Then I told them, just pay $20 by each or $10 by all of your 12 students. And everybody, they split using Square, and they bought all the Bhagavatam sets. So this just as you mentioned many times, Prabhu, that when you have these installments, people really take it. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Bhadra campaign ki jai.
Ki jai. Thank you very much, Sri Krishna Purushottam Prabhu. And the Pakistan connection is a great revelation as we look to increase capacity all over the world by finding and opening more and more venues and channels for the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam. We literally want to cover the earth. Every town and village means every language, means every country, and going out to the villages, going to the towns, going to the big cities and institutions. Sri Ram Prabhu, we see you're on the call. Would you give us some insight from your vantage point in South India? If you're
Please
available.
explain Prabhu.
Where are you? Where is Sriram? I have to see him, otherwise
I
feel.
have a bad throat and some infection, but I'm
Oh,
not.
no, I'm so sorry. Please, don't strain your voice, but just tell us what's happening in India. How are you feeling? How's it going?
The devotees are fired up in general, Prabhu. The yatras I lead, we really did fantastic so far. I just came from Mangalore. That's why I got viral. But in Mangalore, we had 7 Matajis take Bhagavatam classes every day. We almost distributed 125 sets so far, just for those devotees who preach. And we were actually going to colleges. There are a lot of colleges in Mangalore. When we actually gave a set as a gift to the college, uh, I had they got inspired, and 7 professors have taken they actually bought it, the Bhagavatam set. So the more you show, the more you sell. That really worked here in Hyderabad. We have a small school. We donated 1 set because they were very curious, and 4 teachers purchased Bhagavatam right on the spot. So we are seeing miracles, like we're seeing many venues, and we're working on the lowest graded centers, like not just big temples, medium temples. They're called outpost extensions. So we have given 3 seminars in those places. We're increasing potential from the down, Prabhu, and there's a lot of traction. And like there's a place called very small place called Banswad Kamaredi. We have distributed 60 sets in the new centers. So that's where we are focusing, and things are catching up. And we have distributed more than 150 Bhagavatam sets to Pandits in Tirupati, and by that seeing the video, many people sympathized, and actually they're appreciating Prabhupada books, and they're coming us and taking these sets, Prabhu. So whatever, like 5-6 centers we am associated, we're actually doing pretty good, and we're smashing our goals. Thank you, Prabhu. I heard
Sriram
Rajesh.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Radhesham
It's
Prabhu in Hyderabad is doing marathon for the last 4 days to smash bigger goals.
who?
Radhesham Prabhu.
Oh, Radhesham Prabhu, yes. Okay, good. We also got his video recently and sent it out.
Yes,
And
Prabhu.
we're so grateful to hear from you from South India, and especially the ways in which you're increasing capacity by getting more centers involved. This is one of our keys to success and our roadmap to get to a baseline of 100,000 sets a year. And the more devotees are involved, according to whatever they can do, wherever they are, the more we can solidly increase. A lot doing a little bit. So now I'm going to show a few maps since we're running out of time, just to give some perspective of what's happening around the world. And remember, keep in mind, we have 2-3 days to go, and the biggest day is Bhadra. Keep this, make a tattoo, whatever you have to do, put it on your forehead. 108,000 sets by 2026, our baseline goal. And our goal this year is 68,000. Here's what it looks like. Now you'll see a number up the upper right-hand corner. 703 was the pledge. And you can see Oceania on the left-hand side, the bar graph that shows how they've been doing over the last several years. So on each one of the slides, it gives you kind of an idea. And if you really want to get granular, you can look down and see what they're doing individually down there. So we'll just whiz through these maps. Next one is from Europe, and we can see Europe is gradually working their capacity up. Hopefully this year they can surpass what they did last year, so the bar graph keeps going upwards. We have South America. It looks like they're having a pretty good year this year. It could be a lot more, I must say. Africa, We're going to have to fly trade-offs, Prabhu, over there or something like that. We'll airlift you, we'll airdrop you in there. Far East, can see the numbers. It is what it is. One of the factors here is Bangladesh is usually on this list, and because of the political unrest there, it's been very difficult for them to get books, what to speak of distributing them. So that's reflected. These bar graphs, actually, you can extract sociological inferences from them or make inferences from these graphs. Social political inferences. Go ahead. Here we have North America. I like the look at this. It's a nice upward sweep, isn't it? That's a healthy looking graph. That's what we want to see everywhere, leaders, and try to get the healthy upward swoop. But whatever way you get there is okay. And we have India that's leveled off at a certain level. We're analyzing what's happening and why. And they have a lot to do with the overall world total. But we are looking at India as a separate number as well to see how India is increasing or how they're holding, and also how the rest of the world's doing as a percentage of increase. So far we have pledges at 28,853, and you can see the overall rise and then leveling off of where we are. So this is our time to discover more capacity and to lean into this word and the concept of capacity, which I'll just briefly enumerate the aspects of this concept. One of them is participation. So for those who are tracking and interested in what's happening at a local center, or if you're looking after an area, it's really helpful to measure capacity by how many centers, how many people are involved. The more you can measure that, the more you can see how you're increasing capacity. Another one is languages. How much are you engaged in the demographic of your area, knowing which languages are needed and making sure that they're available in those areas? That will also increase capacity. There's some languages sell better than others, and we don't want to miss any of the opportunities there. Another interesting measure of capacity is how prepared you are to accept donations. Sri Krishna Purushottam mentioned there's payment plans. There's also all types of electronic acceptance. And according to area, some, like in India, there's, I forget what it's called, there's a general way that people pay on the internet. And that's what I find when I'm distributing books there. That's how everybody pays.
It's Google Pay, Phone Pay.
Google Pay, Phone Pay, that's right. And so we have that on a QR code. And if we didn't have that, we would have about 3/4 less donations, fewer donations, because we weren't prepared. So capacity is also measured on how well prepared we are to accept donations. Another is inventory. Inventory control is a mainstay of capacity, making sure that you have a good control of your inventory. You get books when you need them, and you have enough, and you're taking care of the books in a way that preserves them. Shipping, part of inventory, but it's something that can't be overlooked. How to get your shipping costs down, how to get the books shipped at the right times. And I would say most importantly is consensus from the top down, meaning the more that the leaders, starting from the GBC level, the zonal supervisors, the RGB, the temple presidents, the Sankirtan leaders, the more there's a sense of, yes, this is important, and there's advocacy from the top, the more the capacity increases. Otherwise, there tends to be a glass ceiling that's hard to go beyond without such encouragement. Shamahini, what have you to say, to add?
Prabhu, I was wondering if you can help us look at how setting these goals, which are so big, which may seem like a far distance away, helps us all in collectively improving our consciousness. Thank you.
The greatest goal I could see was Prabhupada having the seeming audacity to come to America to spread the Krishna conscious movement alone. And in that, we all learned a lesson that can never be denied, and that is that if you take the order of the Supreme through the Guru Parampara and you execute it, even if you're alone and you have no money and don't know the country well, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will support you. We need actual, tangible experience to have full faith in Krishna consciousness. And much of that comes from our distribution. When we see others light up and their lives change by the distribution of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and when they take it into their homes and then they rearrange their lives because of it, we see again and again the potency of the Bhagavatam. Otherwise, we could forget. And when we also set goals that seem slightly beyond our reach, and then somehow or other we achieve them, we also realize the potency of taking shelter of Krishna and taking risks for him, the way Prabhupada did. And we also start to notice that it's not by our power, it's by the power of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This movement is powered by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we could take advantage of that power by taking risks and extending ourselves a little bit at a time to go for the next higher level. Life's either a daring adventure. I'll say that again. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Helen Keller said that. And that's the way it is in Krishna consciousness. When Tridas Prabhu joined the movement, every day was a daring adventure because everything was new. And to keep everything new, it's helpful to set goals and try to reach them. Setting goals for book distribution is unassailable. It's something that Prabhupada did himself. And the more we increase that, the more the rest of the movement and all the other purposes of ISKCON are realized. And just finally, I advocate for making personal goals and group goals to read the Bhagavatam and enter deeply within it. I'll just mention that the Bhagavatam, as I said in the very beginning, for those who weren't there, is the impetus for the preachers like Narada Muni and others. Prabhupada says, when we hear Bhagavatam, there's a natural enthusiasm to give it to others so the two go well together. There's 3 days. How many days? 2-3 days, depending where you are. And having a deadline and just mentioning it, call one more person, call 10 more people, and go for it. Do the best you can with what you have, the time that we have. Somebody told me recently, and I'll finish with this quote, don't watch the clock, do what it does, keep going. So no one can fault us for keeping going because we're going on the order of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we can remember that whoever you see here, take a look in the Zoom room. You might not have noticed, you might just have seen a combination of colors and shapes and squares and a few faces peeking out and a lot of names. But everybody on this call, we're it. This is our team. This is what's driving the book distribution. So it's up to us. Nobody else is going to airdrop in. We're going to be the ones who are going to do it. Shamahini?
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm going to end with a prayer, and then if you want, you can put the music video on for anybody who wants some extra impetus. We have a great song written by Eka Chakra Prabhu.
Yes,
Dear
Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Radha Govinda, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, Shri Shri Lakshmi Nrsingadev. If you so desire, please give us the same kind of insight and inspiration that our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, had to spread the Sankirtan movement. Please let us walk in his footsteps and find the same type of reciprocation that he got from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread the Sankirtan movement. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Rama
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Birds fly as high as they're able, while the sky stretches far beyond the eagle's eye. Above the clouds, even the mountains seem little as we cover the earth to conquer death and birth. Open your wings to the sky. How high will we fly? Turn toward the wind and try. How high will we fly? Will we fly? Fly? Will we fly today? All alone, it may feel impossible, while a team can achieve the wildest dream, as we live just to give this gift forever, sharing love of God for Srila Prabhupada. Open your wings to the sky. How high will we fly? Turn toward the wind and try. How high will we fly? Will we fly? Will we fly? What are you waiting for? Step out that door. We're on the verge of a surge. Just a little more. Let's make a stand today. It's the ISKCON way. We're on the verge of a surge to 100K. What are you waiting for? Step out that door, we're on the verge of a surge. Just a little more. Let's make a stand today. It's the ISKCON way, we're on the verge of a surge to 100K. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Open your wings to the sky. How high will we fly? Turn toward the wind and try. How high will we fly? How high will we fly? Will we fly? Will we fly?
Hare Krishna, everyone. I have one last question before we leave. How high will you fly? Haribo! Vanchakalptaruscha Kripasundabhevacha Patitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Gopre Haribo. Do huge, try hard, smash your goals. Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ki Jai.